Hello and welcome to the weekend edition of Rich Witch Q&A. I am your host and head witch, Morgana Ray. I have been a best-selling author and mentor coach for over 25 years now, and I cultivate and support world-changing women leaders to heal the rift between heart, spirit, and money so that they can save the world. And I have a question lined up that I had answered before, but I don't know, technical glitch with Facebook and it didn't get recorded. And I really I thought it was a great question. So I will quickly answer it again this week. And that question is, how do you sell 1,000,000 books? Great question. Can't wait to dive into that. And before I answer the first question, and those of you who are joining live, just type in your question into the comments box. Say hi, hello. I got an email from South Africa, from one of my clients in South Africa who is right now going through my Money Magnet Rapid Transformation self-study program. And it's really exciting getting her feedback on her progress through the program. And my favorite thing that she wrote today that arrived in an email is, it's wonderful how love makes the money honey relationship blossom into more and more miracles and magic too, which is the perfect relationship with money, where it's not your limiter and it's not the bad guy and it's not that area of shame and limitation, but it is this loving partner. And that's when weird miracles and magic and opportunities open up that we're sensitized to in a different way because we don't need to resist it. So, hello, Pamela. And post where you're from. I don't know where Pamela is from. It's fun to see how people are from around the planet tuning in. So, question number one, which came from Spain, is how do I sell 1,000,000 books? Now, this person has written fiction. Fiction is not my area of expertise. Novels and fiction's my husband. He has his graduate degree in creative nonfiction, but it still has that novel feeling. And a bunch of his friends have sold millions of books that have turned into big major motion pictures. So he knows that world. That said, I know a lot about selling books. And I've made hundreds of thousands of dollars from my book. And if I had thought ahead, I would bring it and hold it up to the camera. So and by the way, our writer from Spain is doing something that I think is quite brilliant. Oh, hello from Phoenix. And I recognize Marisa from New Mexico. What I love that the writer is doing is she split the book into two. So the first part is free to hook people, and the second part is a easy peasy £5 online, really easily accessible. So here was what was missing from what I read, which is, if you're going to sell, by the way, and if you're going to sell free stuff or cheap stuff or any stuff, but if you want to sell 1,000,000, the key word here is sell. Even free stuff, sell. It's all, you can't do it without marketing. And that's everybody. And I have sold a crazy amount of books. And I used to publish my books at Office Max before you could do all the online publishing stuff. And this was probably not published through Office Max. I don't know how, say, Wayne Dyer published his first book, but he would travel the country. The same with the guy who wrote the Celestine Prophecies, the same with Louise Hay, is they just put a ton of books in the trunk of their car and traveled and traveled and traveled and just went to churches and community centers and read excerpts and gave talks and sold their books relentlessly for years. Now they've sold hundreds of millions of books. Same with my friend Marcy Shimoff. Same with Jonathan Gray. but it took them a long time and a ton of hustle to get there. And that was before the internet. Like when I was flying all over the country in 2007, we hadn't really set up internet uh, books launches yet, and my book wasn't online yet. And by the way, when the pandemic is over, I think still make your book an event. What you're doing online with the free sample, do that live. Get on every podcast in the world that is relevant to your topic. Radio shows, learn how to pitch. My favorite media teacher, bar none. He's the guy, the chicken soup for the soul and the secret people and all the personal development people go to, but so do huge companies, pharmaceutical companies, tech companies. And when I've taken his class, we've had like Harvard professors, we had aerospace directors and all, just the most amazing groups of genius people in his class on speaking to the media. He was a top-rated drive-by morning show radio host in LA. Really big stuff before he had an accident that hurt his ear. And dear friend of mine, Joel D. Roberts, my favorite media trainer, to learn how to create a hook. And you can do that for a fictional book. It doesn't have to be nonfiction. But by the way, the first time I took his class was in, I think, 2003 or 4. And that was when I learned that my hook is relationship with money, is the money honey hook. Because I tried some other stuff and then I tried this and boom, lift off, because the live version of his class, he gives you lots of live feedback. You can get the class online now. So Joel D. Roberts, based in Tennessee, because I want you to get on podcasts, get on radio shows. And the nice thing is it's a lot cheaper than hopping on a plane and renting a car and printing a bunch of books ahead of time. And especially with the medical situation right now, you don't want to do that. So you want to sell and you want to hustle. You want to pick that juiciest excerpt of your book that makes people need the rest. I heard J.K. Rowling read an excerpt from the first Harry Potter book, I think 2 years before it became available in the US. And I was obsessed with that reading for 2 years, dying to get my hands on the book, based on that one little thing she read. Was so much fun and funny and intriguing. And that's how you do it. I could go into a lot of details about how I launched my book, but I'm thinking for what you're offering, I'm not going to go into the weeds this time. I did that last week, and I really want to see if we have other questions. But create an event. So what I did specifically that you can recreate is I hired a brilliant person who doesn't do it anymore. Lynn Seraphin, love her, and I grieve that she doesn't do this anymore. Other people who will launch your book and get it to #1. Vicki Winterton, based in Mexico, really brilliant at getting books to #1. But you want more than just to be #1. You want 1 million sales. So that's just a starting point. You want to get your book reviewed. That does cost money, but you want to get your book reviewed because you want to create word of mouth. What else? I went on a virtual blog tour. So Lynn and I lined up 15 people in my adjacent to my niche, who had really big audiences of spiritual people and spiritual entrepreneurs who would resonate with my message. And each of them submitted me 3 questions, and I answered 3 different questions. So I answered 45 questions. For myself, I recorded them on video because that's easier for me to just talk, and then got them transcribed and then cleaned it up. Much easier than just typing over and over and over again for me. And then Lynn's team took what I gave them and then refined it even further and put it on everybody's blog. And then the blog owners emailed their lists to send traffic to their blog, to send traffic to my book launch, so that I had a big list of people who were interested in my book for the day the book launched. The more sales you can get on one day, the better, because then you become visible in Amazon. Get on really big radio shows. I was on Coast to Coast Radio a couple of years ago and didn't even think that my book would go to #1 again. And it totally did. So being on the right platform for you is a game changer. And then you never stop. And that's the thing. And then you never stop. You keep promoting your book, and you get fans who promote your book. That was the 50 Shades of Grey thing. Huge word of mouth, but it's still marketing. And I don't know what she did behind the scenes to make it even more viral. But you need to get people speaking, and you need to be visible all the time. There's no such thing as a million sales of anything passively, unless you're selling toilet paper during a pandemic. So let's, and I'm very, very excited to hear about your journey. And honestly, how you learn to love marketing. Learn to love marketing. Let's take a look. Brenda is writing, I'm at the beginning of my coaching career and want so much to market myself in social, but it is a bit hard for me to push that publish button. I'm afraid of being judged. How do you get over this? Okay. When I write emails to my own list of subscribers who hunted me down on the internet and signed up to hear from me, I still have that moment of panic. Is it good enough? Nothing is ever good enough. Nothing is perfect. So actually, imperfect is good enough. You will be judged, I promise you. One of the most painful things I ever got was I interviewed a friend I adored for an old podcast that I used to have. And I know she is sweet. I know she's good at what she does. I know her heart is full of love and integrity. And I interviewed her on her process on how to get clients, ideal clients with integrity. And we posted it to my blog. And somebody from India who I don't know wrote me the most hateful thing, like wishing death on us both. So I deleted it. What I love about the internet is it does create some safety. Don't put your home address on anything online. I have a P.O. box so that there's a P.O. box on my newsletter because I had stalkers 10 years ago, 12 years ago, and it was terrifying. So now I pay extra for a post office address, UPS technically, just for that level of safety. So social, let's see. First, let's reframe the fear of being judged. And I apologize for throwing that cold, scary water on you. It's part of life, and you can survive it. Don't take it personally. I kind of started with the bad news first. Here's the good news. You want to create some level of polarity, or you are invisible, vanilla, saying nothing. So I'm not saying go all out. What's his name? The shock jock radio guy. I can't even remember because I never listened to him. You don't go out of your way to be offensive or horrible. Ugh, don't. But you want to be edgy and specific enough to repel the people who are not your people, so that you stand out and you're visible to your people. I use words that are designed to be a little bit edgy and polarizing, which is going to rub some people the wrong way. And it's not that I want to make anybody uncomfortable, really. I don't. But I want my people to kind of feel seen and heard and understood and loved. And people who aren't going to want me, I want them to just move on. So Being judged actually is really important. You want people to be able to make a decision that you're right for them. And you ideally you don't hear from the people that you're not right for. But the more you stand out, the more you want to repel the people you are not perfect for. I am not the right coach for everybody. Hallelujah. What that means is it's on one hand, I want to save everybody. But it's also a huge relief that there are other people out there who are going to be better for the people who are not good fits for me. Yay! So somebody with like fuzzy, iffy boundaries like me, I get to relax and just focus on the people that I get the most dramatic, happy results for with the least friction. And that feels good. And I've been coaching for over 25 years. So I'm telling you where you're headed is you really want to work with people that you can. So if you are not going to make somebody happy, you really, if they can make that split second decision on social media and you never have to hear from them again, or they post something that you can delete, yay, you have so much more energy and focus to get better results for your people. And I think I mentioned maybe a couple weeks ago about a friend of mine who fired two clients after she had completed their contract, and they were still wanting more and more, and they were being difficult, and they were sucking energy, and she just said no, and fired them, let them go, and booked a six-figure client 2 hours later. So there's actually a really great energetic rebound effect. When you say no to what you don't want, you're letting the universe know, I don't want this. And it creates sort of an energetic pull for what you really do want. Because saying no to what you don't want is good for your self-esteem. It's good for your faith in abundance that there's what you want out there. And it's attractive to have healthy boundaries. So since you're at the beginning of your coaching career, and I remember what that's like, and it's the hardest part. It is the hardest part because you're breaking through gravity. You're still finding out what you do, what makes you different, who you serve, and how you serve them. And it may take a while of trying things and seeing what sticks. So don't feel like you're married to any one thing, but keep following through long enough for something to take root. And try and see what happens. I found like my golden goose was my email list because I'm an introvert and I'd rather die than follow up even with hot leads on the phone. I'm okay if they call me. I don't like to call other people. So in 2002, I started sending out emails because I could hide behind my computer and I could edit myself endlessly before I hit the submit button. And it took 6 months of like not making a dime from my email. And I thought it's a waste of effort. I should pull the plug, 80-20 rule, not working. And then I changed my relationship with money in 2003. Slayed my money monster, met my money honey. The next day, 4 people hired me at double what I'd ever charged before. And they keep coming from my email list. That is what works for me. I have a friend who meets people, has lunch, comes home with the client. I've never gotten a client that way. So you have to find what works for you. So do stuff. Don't expect any overnight success. You are learning as you go. One other thing, and I did a whole episode on how to start your coaching career. Just look at my Morgana page, facebook.com/Morgana page. Also, Rich Witch Radio will be going live on iTunes soon, and you'll be able to look it up there. I go a whole episode about how to start your coaching business. I know a lot of people are selling groups and programs and products. Those are good as downsells. When you have too many one-on-one clients and your brain is exploding, because I was there. And I swore after 2007, never again. That's when you want to have groups and products and stuff to take the pressure off so you can focus on fewer people and give better quality service to fewer people. Uh, at a higher level and just have a deeper relationship with your one-on-one. And the quickest way to the cash when you're starting is do focus on one-on-one. Save the groups and all those programs for later. So that is my very long-winded answer to Brenda. Thank you. Sayed is starting her online ads. I need your blessings. I am sending blessings. I know nothing about online ads. I am not a professional in those. If I ever do them, I would hire somebody because all of my business is just organic because I know what I don't know. And I don't know enough about how to do ads correctly to do that. Oh, hello, Ella from Singapore. Gosh, what a beautiful planet we have. Zach, hello. Um, okay, so, ooh, this is a really good one. Sayad writes, I'm afraid some people have spoiled my name before and I don't want to expose myself because they might harass me. How do I get over it? I have a long time client, one of my favorite human beings in the world. I adore her. And she had the same damn thing. And she changed her name for her public business profile. It depends on really what you're offering. I have another client, another one of my favorite women, who is an outrageously successful intuitive. And it's interesting because while, there's so much economic pain right now in the world, especially in the United States, I'm checking in with my clients, and there's also so much abundance. So many people are finding their businesses just exploding and expanding. And so that wasn't the point. So my intuitive client, for safety, she works under a pseudonym and even has a fake picture of herself because it and she's sort of bifurcated. That means split into two, her business. So for her reading, she goes under a pseudonym, but for her mentoring clients, the intuitives who want to be like her, then she goes by her real name because she's able to screen them. Do you hear the difference? If you can pre-screen and know who you're sharing your name with for your safety, always, always safety first. We don't want danger and fear to be blocking you from abundance. So do what you need to do to put your safety first. So if it's a different name or some avatar, I think that's fine. And that's worked for a couple of my clients really well. So that's what I'm getting. Also, whatever I say is secondary to what your wisdom and intuition tell you. And my best way for getting to that answer is to create a monster with all the stuff that I'm protecting myself from, all the dangers, all the fears, all the traumas. You know my process. Go to morganaray.com if you're just starting out, and just start with the easy peasy free 4-part video intro. Create that monster that has all that danger, slay it, and then create a completely new relationship with money as a person and talk to your money honey. What does your money honey say? And that's when you're going to get the best information, because that's going directly to like your connection to source, your connection to your deepest knowing and highest wisdom. Let's see if we have any other questions. We have Kristen. Kristen realized that I've always stayed a bit hidden behind my neutral words. Neutrality does not sell. It just blends in. Have courage in your conviction. I like to say your wealth is in your weirdness. And weirdness will repel some people and other people will love it. My husband, you want to talk about weird? My husband has been studying Kabbalah for 25 years. I studied Kabbalah in college at Smith College in Massachusetts in 1989. So when I found out that he was teaching Kabbalah, and this was in the first month or two of our dating, that moved his like dating player piece way ahead of the other players on the board. That made him so much more right for me. That would have scared some other women, would scare them running into the fields, but me, it was like, oh my goodness, this is different in a way that fits my puzzle pieces really well. And I'm going to show you a prop. Hold on just a second. This is the craziest thing ever. Not only has my husband been studying Kabbalah, but he has spent the last week inventing, constructing, and painting a 3D tree of life. Like that is Star Trek caliber geekiness. And I adore that. How cool is that? I've never seen such a thing. And he's worked so hard on it. And that's what makes us right and what makes him wrong for somebody else. So go with your geek. Because 7.5 billion people, you want to reach your geeks out there. And it takes a lot of courage because nobody wants to repel. I don't want to repel. I want to be loved and liked by everybody, right? Because I'm human. Although my husband, it's funny, he's different. He really doesn't care what people think of him. And that to me is the most amazing, intriguing, weird space alien superpower that I, should learn to adopt. So it's a gradual process. I don't expect you to get there on day one. Part of starting a business is you are discovering. You are discovering what you offer and who you offer it to. So in the beginning, just get anybody you can get. But hone down who you love, what you do best, and who you get the best results for and what language they use. And go and listen or watch my episode on how to get started in your coaching business because I spend a whole episode on that. Namaste, witches. See you next Friday. Ciao.